The biggest game in the world has delivered accordingly. El Clasico was chaos from minute one. Arsenal fans, don't worry. City fans, well, maybe worry. Spurs, Everton, you man, don't worry. We're going to get to the Premier League, but we have to start with the greatest game on earth, because literally within 1 minute, we had carnage already. It was an electric start from Barca, actually. Rashford winning the corner, getting the shots off. And then in the second minute, before guys could even sit down and have their dinner ready or collect your snacks, boom. Penalty, something that we knew in this game we're going to see a lot of referee carnage and drama and tears and whatnot. We saw it straight away. Yamal gives away a penalty. In the end, it gets overturned. Again, people are going to debate, they're going to cry, does this count, does this not count? I don't really know, but maybe it was a sign of things to come for Amenyah. Now, before I continue any further, I do want to say, of course, if you want, whoa, that was a loud one. Apologies. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. Of course, I'm going to be here giving you guys daily videos as soon as possible. We cooked today because eventually Real Madrid, despite Yamal having a couple curlers here and there, Mbappe scores an incredible goal. First time volley, bangs it. No backlift. Moving like, Pele himself. You can get this shirt on my website, by the way. Check it, the link in the bio, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. Disallowed, offside. You're thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. It's going to be like that first game last time where he gets 8 offside goals. And even look, semi-automatic, whatever, they were saying, yeah, offside by like a pinky toe, whatever. I didn't see the offside personally, but, alas, there we are. Cool, no problem. So that could have been 2-0 potentially with an Mbappe penalty goal, although we'll get to Mbappe and penalties later on. Boom! Mbappe scores again for the 3rd time, and this time there was absolutely no ruling out this one. It was an incredible from Bellingham, by the way. They told us that, when Jude Bellingham and Pedri link up, I've been the one saying that this season, Pedri, best center in the world. Jude Bellingham showed levels today. It is why I keep on saying this is the big game player. We mustn't forget his first season. Back-to-back Clasico winners, and he was here impacting again. Incredible through ball to find Mbappe. Mbappe finishes deadly as per. And look, I know offside goals or whatever. For me, no problem. But then, to be fair, Barca, they came back in it. They were not really having any attacks whatsoever until, boom, blink of an eye. Arda Güler, sloppy on the ball. Pedri, to be fair to him, pressed very well to win it. Little bit of interplay. Rashford cuts it across. Fermin Lopez gets his goal again. Another big goal for my boy Fermin. But truth be told, this was to be pretty much the last of what we saw from Barcelona, because it was all Real Madrid. They were popping it around. They were doing, Jogo Bonito, to the point where Szczesny was having to make saves from Dean Huijsen in the other box, bro. Dean Huijsen, gets there close, nearly scored at the back post. But again, like I said, Szczesny makes the saves. And then, minute 43, I told you guys in my predictions video, we are going to see a goal in which Barcelona, or rather Real Madrid, expose the Barca highline, just like we saw in 1988, for those of us who remember. It wasn't quite Mbappe, it was Jude Bellingham who scored a goal that reminded me of Rafael Gordillo to make it 3-1 against Barca that time. Here, he made it 2-1 at the back post, just there waiting, right place, right time, as Jude so always is. Hey, that's his nonchalant walk of celebration. I said, yeah, man, fair enough, bro. He knows he's him. 2-1 going into halftime, and I'll be real, guys. They came out second half, and Barca didn't really have a sniff. Guys, you man were telling me that, certain players were going to turn up today. You were telling me, oh, you stupid idiot, how can you think Madrid win this game? Where were Barcelona today? Because why did I see Eder Militao running down the wing, breezing Balde? What was that about? I thought it was Mbappe. I thought maybe my very legal live stream, was bugging out. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And it really was Eder Militao, who obviously, like a rabbit in headlights, didn't know what to do afterwards. Vinny was absolutely roasting Koundé. Big ups to Vinny for this game. Much, much better from him. Everyone on Real Madrid, they were just really, really amped up. And Amenyah, the less said, the better, bro. I'll be honest. We're going to speak about the penalty, of course, that Mbappe missed. Was it a penalty? In my opinion, no. There are a lot of dodgy decisions for both teams. So before anyone cries, I don't want to see Madrid fans, I don't want to see Barca fans crying about any ref chaos or controversy. Because it was basically 50-50. You man got robbed here, but then they niced you there. They were just, going back and forth. The ref, to be honest with you, in general, was pretty poor, right? Like, for example, Huijsen put in a crazy crunch, no yellow card. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? Pedri's diving, again, no yellow cards. I'm thinking, bro, has he just forgotten he had cards or something? If only the referee had the Extra Card Holder Pro. Courtesy of today's video sponsor, Extra again. Engineered for years to save you seconds. Everyone wants the biggest game in the world to flow with minimal interruptions. Well, with the Extra Card Holder Pro, you can access your cards quickly with this push-up mechanism and get on with the game ASAP. It can hold up to 14 cards for games that have a bit of extra spice. And if you're worried about Florentino Perez or Juan Laporta trying to cheat, don't worry. The Card Holder Pro is built in with secure RFID protection to block wireless theft and prevent any robberies. In fact, you can even expand your storage to carry any bills or receipts. Enjoy a lifetime warranty with a 100-day risk-free trial with Extra's full sale to get 35% off and code Amenyah for an extra 10% off at checkout on top of web sales with lifetime warranty. If you backed your Mal to be the greatest of all time when his career ends, I hope you kept your lifetime warranty because this performance was bad and not for the first time. I don't know if your Mal's been affected by off-field activities or trying to impress his new girl or whatnot, I don't know, but this has not been it. Since coming back from injury, I'm not seeing the same Yamal, and it goes back to what we said maybe like a year ago or so. I like the arrogance and the cockiness before the games and whatnot, but you have to back it up. You cannot be sitting there on podcasts or streams or whatever that is with Ibai telling me, yeah, when I score at the Bernabeu, you're gonna do celebration, I'm gonna do it for you. I don't know why I did the accent, by the way. He definitely don't speak like that. But point being, you can't talk like this and drop a near 0 out of 10. He was anonymous, guys. We barely even saw this brother. I don't know what he was there for. Carreras, who you man said Baldé's way better. Carreras was having a chill day at the office, bro. He could have sat back like this, like the rest of us, watching on our laptops or our television. Sorry, we're not watching any dodgy streams, of course. So big ups to Real Madrid. They held on for pretty much the rest of the game. Again, could have been more goals for them. Vinny had chances. Barca were resorting to shooting with their defenders. I said, yeah, man, pack it up, bro. You're not beating Courtois, from there. So in the end, Pedri finally got his red, by the way, at like the 4th or 5th time of asking. So maybe the ref did get his Extra Card Holder Pro. Finally sent him off. Fight erupted and whatnot, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, where was this fight during the game? Because all these players you're looking at on the screen here for Barcelona didn't put up a fight, bro. Ferran Torres, they didn't even see this guy beyond one effort and goal. It was a really, really bad performance. Bellingham was, in my opinion, the star of the show. But massive shout out to Mbappe. I called him the best player in the world. They call me biased. I said, hold on a minute. I'm not French. I'm not a Real Madrid fan. What is bias about me just believing that the best player in the world is the best player in the world? Big ups to him. It could have been 4 or 5 goals for him, honestly. Deserved 4 or 5 goals as well. He did miss the penalty though. I'm in such a rush to get through the games or whatever that I forgot to mention. The penalty that was unfairly given, that it does a 3D space pinball cadet bounce off Bellingham's knees and onto Eric Garcia. Never a penalty, but justice prevailed. Mbappe's penalty was saved by Szczesny. Sorry, I forgot to mention that one. But alas, as we said, there were fights. Vinny came off. Vinny was fighting his own team and coaching staff because he didn't even want to get subbed. But alas, there we are. I did tell you guys Real Madrid are going to win the game with both teams to score. I was correct. If that ain't worth a cheeky little sub, I don't know what is. So, which means now Real Madrid extend their lead at the top of La Liga to 5 points over Barcelona. Speaking of extending gaps to the top of the league, it was an incredible weekend for Arsenal, who saw their rivals lose, and of course, they pick up their 3 points. Now, it's going to be a bit weird because I'm recording this, as you can see, it's half-time of El Clasico, but I'm going to record this and then, get back to that because that's the bigger game. You get the point. Let's get into it. Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 0. Of course, the goal scorer, Eberechi Eze. Let it all work out. It wasn't working out in this first half, guys. I can't lie to you. This was a bad first half from Arsenal. Probably the worst half I've seen from Arsenal this season altogether. Like, even in games where, like, Liverpool, obviously, they lost. There's been some, dry spells. This was really bad in terms of I wasn't seeing any chances created. Eze himself, to be fair, looked a lot quieter. Gyökeres was just running around. Saka got completely locked by that combo of Mitchell and Guehi. But in fairness, let's give credit to Crystal Palace and of course Oliver Glasner, who set up the nastiest mid-block that makes it almost impossible. You don't know who to track. You don't know, when they're going to break out the press and then start a counter-attack of their own with Mateta and Yeremy Pino and Sarr running around. It was a very, very difficult one. Like, normally people say, oh, Gyökeres is the sacrificial lamb or whatever. Him and Lacroix were battling. Richards would join in as well. But then, unlike previous games where you're seeing Saka and Trossard or Martinelli, whoever's the winger, have lots of space, there was nothing for anyone until, you guessed it, we called it yet again. A certain man is inevitable. Both Declan Rice is inevitable. Gabriel was inevitable because the free kick was whipped in. Gabriel flicks it back. And speaking of inevitability, it was only right that in this script, one man would score a goal. Eberechi Eze flies in, doing a volley like Paulo Di Canio for West Ham, for those of us who remember, to bang it in, minute 39. Doesn't celebrate, of course. He loves Palace, and rightly so. I think they love him too. He did give it the little, cross, so fair play to him. Great goal. And then from that point, to be fair, it didn't look as though Palace were ever really, really gonna bag. Like, I'm not sure if the stats, did they actually get a shot on target in the end? They did have one shot on target. I'm not sure what shot that was, to be honest with you. Someone let me know in the comments what that was, because there was one, but then it got given for offside, so maybe there was like a shot block or something. I don't remember, but it was a titanic performance from Gabriel. Saliba struggled though against Mateta. I don't know, it's got a little plus here. Maybe there was an injury, I'm not sure. I've seen Arteta this season. He's very ruthless when it comes to making subs. Actually, the guy who came on, we saw Mosquera when he struggled. So immediately, nope, you're off at half time. This time, Saliba came off. Mosquera came on. He looked comfy. Timber, this guy, this is Ronaldinho, guys. This guy is Ronaldinho. Why is he going 1 against 4 and he's beaten, man? It makes no sense. So, big up Timber again. Calafiori, again, this was not the game for him, in my opinion. It needed runners to drive through the middle and break down that mid-block. He just didn't really offer that much. David Raya, I mean, we didn't even see him do anything, right? Other than, take the throws and try and launch the goal kicks quickly. Rice was Rice as per usual, man. The driving runs. Him and Zubimendi, they're forming a serious partnership, because now I'm seeing Zubimendi pop up basically everywhere, right? And he's not the quickest. So it's one of them ones where, do you remember Chelsea fans, the Fabregas video where they're running to the cones? I think he was racing Willian. Someone else to remind me. It was a Chelsea fast player. And Fabregas won it purely because he was making the right choices. He'll run here, jog, run, jog, run, jog. That was Zubimendi. Obviously, Gyökeres, to be fair to him, especially second half, he won most of his duels. I don't know what the numbers say, but anytime that he's launched it to Gyökeres, it was an outlet for them. He flick it on to Trossard to run and so on and so forth. But like I said, Palace were just really, really strong. So in the end, obviously there were some subs here. Nketiah looked very dangerous, actually. He breezed past Mosquera one time when he came on. The other guys didn't really have enough of an impact. Martinelli came on, looked bright as per usual. Hincapié, his first Premier League game for Arsenal. Mikel Merino came on and done Mikel Merino things. Just Eddie Cartner is just giving the ball away, bro. I'm thinking, come on, man. Rice has come off injury. We don't know how severe it may or may not be. I don't really know. But alas, there we are. 1-0 to the Arsenal, which means there is now a gap. Obviously, big up Bournemouth, who, won today. Big up Sunderland yesterday. But in terms of the title rivals, City are now 6 points behind. Liverpool are 7. But hey, United fans, is it time for United fans and Arsenal fans to hold the flags up like the Bloods and the Crips? Is it Fergie and Arsene Wenger days again? Maybe, because we mentioned Man City. They, of course, have lost to one of their bogey teams, or bogey stadiums, if you will. They've gone to Aston Villa and they have lost, courtesy of a Matty Cash dynamite banger, left foot volley from a corner. I say, you know what, Fairs, that's an absolutely great goal, because to be fair to City, in the first 10 minutes they looked very sharp. There were obviously a lot of questions. Is Tijani Reinders going to be playing as the lone 6? He's going to be in a DM's position. He, to be fair, was getting forward. He would try to get some shots off, but nothing really effective. And then Villa grew into it beyond minute 10, 15. They get their goal. But then Haaland, we know how inevitable he is. I guess that's the word of the day, inevitable. He runs through on goal. You're expecting, Haaland, do the robot. Emi Martinez read him and saved it. So that was a bit of a surprise. McGinn had the chance to make it 2, and for someone who is as good at ball striking as he is, probably should have made it 2-0. He didn't. Second half, City started to control the game a little bit more. They started getting more chances from set pieces, and Gvardiol would head the ball over the bar and this kind of stuff, but nothing that was like really threatening Aston Villa, right? For the first hour, I don't even really recall more than like 1 or 2 shots on target. Again, apologies, I'm not really a stats guy. I don't know if it says that anywhere or something. They had 4 on target in total. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they came in the last half an hour, because from what I saw, they had like 1 or 2 max in that first hour. So they probably did, press on in the end and whatnot. Ollie Watkins had the chance to seal the win, but Donnarumma very well read to, run out and stop it before it even became a chance for a shot, let's say. Morgan Rogers. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. I think he's back. This was a remarkable performance from Morgan Rogers. Very well played. He was given Man City PTSD of Yaya Toure, but an angry version of Yaya Toure that didn't receive his birthday cake, because he was just running through. We're talking about, Foden's back or whatever. But to be fair, I was the people, so I'm speaking about myself here. Talking about Foden has been improving. This was a bit meaty from him. Nobody really shone, to be honest with you, for City. Again, I don't like to look at player ratings or whatever, so I'm just giving you my personal opinion. Minute 90, Haaland did score. And Liverpool, Arsenal, even United fans probably, Bournemouth and Sunderland fans, they probably had their heads in their hand like that. Because Marmoush came on looking dangerous. He cuts it back to Haaland, who flies into the post, scores, ruled out for offside. Marginal from Marmoush. So yes, they do lose their game. So as I said, the table looks like this now. Arsenal developing a bit of a gap. Let me know in the comments, who did you predict to win the league at the start? Has it changed? For me, I can't lie, if it extends to any more than 6 points to Man City, I think Arsenal fans can start to think, you know what? Well, you can start to think it now, but I think you can really believe that, like, okay, surely, even with injuries and whatnot, you cannot throw it from here. But alas, that's going to be me for now. Just these 3 games. Obviously, big up Spurs and Everton and whatnot. But I'm going to be away recording something else in the evening, so I won't be able to get that for you guys. But as per usual, thank you guys very much. Leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new here. We hit 47k yesterday, so big ups for that one, you man. Appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Bosh.